Oh, the window. Windy as hell out there. Okay, so once again, my reaction video got blocked for the next film I wanted to do a reaction video for, which was 8th grade. So, sorry about that. You know, no one can watch it once again, just like my Night Comes First video. Yeah. It's a bit annoying, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty damn annoying. Anyway. 8th grade. This is a really great film. I wish I could have shown my reaction video to people because this is really good. This is a great film. This is up there. I think this is one of my favorite coming of age type films. It's so genuine. The movie feels really genuine in what it's trying to do. It's excellent. Like it's insane just how good it is. And on a filmmaking level, on a character level, on a story level, it's got so many things this movie has to offer in a pretty short runtime too. Anyway, let's get into it. So first and foremost, this movie's got some really good filmmaking in it, as I mentioned. So first and foremost, I'm going to mention two things because they're kind of similar. Camera composition and camera movements. The way this movie is shot is very purposeful. It's got a lot of purpose in regards to just how the shots are framed and how long they hold on certain shots too. There's a particular shot in this kind of birthday party scene when this person unwraps the present that the main character is given, and you can feel the tension of this person unwrapping the gift, and you feel kind of as awkward as the main character because the camera holds. It doesn't cut. It holds for a good, it feels like a minute. It feels like an eternity almost, but it's just because it's very minimal in editing, that little moment, and it's excellent. It's a really great idea, but that might even be more under editing, which is something else I'll mention. Anyway, but yeah, really well done in that regard. And along with camera composition, camera movements, there's some good tracking shots that really enhance. A lot of what these techniques do throughout this film is it creates an awkwardness. It makes you really connect with how this character is feeling, because she's a rather introverted character. So when she steps out of her comfort zone, they do a lot of things here and there where, like one part when she's going to someone's house and it's like a pool party, and instead of just cutting to a few different shots of her walking up, they just have a camera shot of her walking and the camera's just behind her as she's walking up. And you really feel the tension because you're just going along with her in this journey. And it's really well done in that regard. I love that they did that. I think there's a few other tracking shots throughout the film too, but that moment very much stood out to me. And it really does amp up the tension to a certain level, and it's really well done. And there's a certain shot too where she's talking to someone on the phone and the camera just keeps panning back and forth, which also enhances the awkwardness and just how uneasy she feels. She's like pacing around. And then there's another shot too when she's like in a bathroom, the camera's just still, but she's like walking back and forth. You know, just these little things in regards to the staging, what she's doing, but also in regards to where the camera's placed or what the camera's doing. Like when it was pacing with her, you kind of feel a little bit disoriented and whatever, just kind of how she feels. It's really well done in that regard. So, alright, so the next thing, so yeah, really great stuff in regards to what they do with the camera, which I find is rare in these I find that's really rare in these type of coming of age films. But yeah, this one delivers very much in that regard. Alright, so the next thing is lighting. So the movie's just really nice to look at, you know, in regards to the indoor shots and even some outdoor shots. There's a shot in kind of like a campfire, not a campfire, but there's a fire going on. It's very minimal on lighting, and it just looks really nice. And there's a lot of other parts just with the lighting that it's not overlit. You know, a lot of movies, especially like coming of age films or set in high school films, a lot of these type of films, the lighting is so just, it's flat looking. There's no depth to the shots because there's no, yeah, it just looks bland. But this movie does have some really nice shots in regards to just having some nice depth and even somewhat like color to the shots. So yeah, really well done. I thought the lighting as well. So yeah, I already kind of mentioned this, but the editing. So they don't cut too much throughout the film. They have moments where the camera kind of lingers, and it gives you time to kind of really feel how the main character's feeling. That's a really effective way to kind of make it more immersive, I guess. And I absolutely loved how they did that. And that's how it feels kind of genuine in a sense too, because you really connect with the character. So yeah, really great in that regard. Alright, so great editing. Next thing, the acting. I think her name's Isla Fisher. She's really good. she's young too, so she's a pretty young actress, and yeah, she was fantastic. Like, I've never seen her in anything else, but I'm really looking forward to seeing her in more stuff. She was really good in this film, and along with her, Josh Hamilton, which plays her dad, and he's really great too. Even on a character standpoint, he's great, but he's funny, and they have a really great scene with that fire scene I was talking about later on in the film. Beautiful scene. That scene could have come off as really cliche, really corny, but it didn't. At least for me, it didn't. I felt it felt really genuine, really real, and I really felt the emotion in that scene. It was excellent, that scene. It was top notch. I absolutely loved that moment. Not just because of the acting. There is a few other elements that I'll mention. I'll probably come back to that scene, what made it so special. But that was a beautiful scene. I'm telling you, that was absolutely incredible how they did that. All right, so the next thing is, so I'll actually quickly mention as well, I haven't actually got this on there, but there is some good chemistry between the main actress and Isla Fisher and Josh Hamilton. They have really great chemistry, the daughter and the dad. Like, they have like great little humorous moments together. Even though she's kind of plays up a bit, the dad just kind of forgives her and understands and whatever, and it's really great. I love their dynamic, acting wise and just on a character level. That's really good. Alright, so the next thing, I've kind of already said it, but the seventh thing is performances enhance the humour. This movie is very funny, and a lot of it's due to just how the actors are playing their roles, and particularly Josh Hamilton. I love like his reactions in certain parts. I love how the performances were in this film in regards to the humour. It was really good. Alright, next thing, I kind of already mentioned this, but the dialogue. So that scene, that campfire scene I was particularly mentioning before, the dialogue in that scene, that's when I really noticed the dialogue was really good. And I think throughout probably the film has some good dialogue, but especially that scene, it really stood out to me. Felt very genuine, felt very real in one particular bit. It didn't come off as corny or cliche, at least for me anyway. It felt very real, and some great lessons too. Like, for a viewer, to hear this stuff is really great, I think, too. So I absolutely loved, like, the dialogue in the film. Yeah, top notch. Alright, so the next thing, story. So that's number 9. So just a general story, the coming of age story. I like type of films like this, but this one's definitely really good in that regard. It's up there. I think, as I said, I think it is one of my favorite ones. So yeah, excellent story, I think, in general, what they're trying to do. She's trying to get through, like, I think the last week of like 8th grade, and it's quite an adventure she has that last week, I'd say that much. Like, she really steps out of her comfort zone, and that's kind of like what this film's about, in a sense, and other things too. Alright, so the next thing, and I'll blend it in with this. So next thing I wanted to say is the main character. I kind of should blend this with the story as well. I love what they do with this film in regards to, she's filming herself giving advice and making like YouTube videos and stuff. I absolutely love that, and this actually helps her as a character and helps her grow, because some of the stuff she's saying as advice she's not really doing herself, but by doing the videos it kind of helps her to actually do the things she's talking about. So, like, that whole saying of practice what you preach, she's kind of doing that in a sense. And I really like how that's done, and just certain things happen later on in the film that makes her doubt herself. This really messed up thing, oh my god, the thing that really tips the tide in this film, that was an awkward as hell scene, and that person was an absolute prick. Oh my god. Anyway, I won't say any more about that. I don't want to spoil it, but man, what a scene that was. Alright, so so I really love that dynamic with making videos and stuff. It was kind of inspiring for me. That's actually another thing I'll be mentioning in a second, but that aspect of the film was really cool, I felt. Alright, so the next thing, just in general, the characters. There's certain characters that have a certain meaning to the plot, like a certain popular girl in the film, and like things like that. And there's also, but then the dad character, that's one big reason why I added, just in general, the characters. The dad character is really great. I had to highlight him as well in the film. He's really good. I really like his character in the film, and just how he's kind of like the main character trying to bring her up, and that whole aspect was really well done, and I really like that character. And there's also this other character that she becomes friends with later on in the film. It's actually 2 characters, but the one later on in the film I really liked too. It was kind of a great message of embracing who you are. You know, stop trying to put a persona on, and this character really helped her to be herself a bit more and not try to hold back. You know, be around people that, one, inspire you, and two, let you be yourself, allow you to be yourself because they're being themselves. You know, don't be around people that hold back and try to be cool all the time, because you're not really embracing who you are. You're kind of just holding back all the time. And being, I think, part of inner peace is, I think a part of inner peace is about embracing who you are and being who you are, instead of, you know, trying to act cool and putting on a false persona, because if you actually be yourself around these people, they would not like you. Well, don't be around those people. Plain and simple. And that's kind of what a character that's kind of a message this other character kind of brings later on in the film. I really like that character a lot. But yeah, this other character she meets too, which you kind of are edgy. I felt a bit edgy of her at first. I was like, should she trust her? But yeah, she's really great. I like that character too. That's kind of one of those characters, once again, trying to embrace who you are and stop holding back who you are. And if people can't accept who you are, stuff them. You know, they're not for you. Plain and simple. All right, next thing, I've already mentioned this, but number 12, the humor. So the humor throughout the film lightens the film up, and, you know, kind of releases some tension, because boy, does this movie have some tension throughout. So it just gives you a nice release, these little moments of humor, which I thought were nicely sprinkled throughout the film, and wasn't too overbearing. I felt like still the drama has a place, and the humor has a place. It doesn't overtake each other. They don't overtake each other and trying to fight the stage. They kind of just flow in harmony together, I guess you could say. Alright, so the next thing, along with the humor, number 13, not because of the humor, but just due to the character and the story and just all these other elements I've somewhat mentioned, smile-inducing moments. Like, I just felt myself smiling throughout the film, like, just feeling really happy for this character and her actually stepping out of her comfort zone. It just, like, when she was smiling, you know, when she stepped out of her comfort zone, I was smiling too. Like, it was just beautiful scenes here and there that I really liked throughout the film. So along with that, I'll say number 14 is emotional impact. So along with the smiling and somewhat getting chills from just certain scenes, and particularly that campfire scene, like, I really felt an emotional impact in that scene. Like, it just, I gotta say, Bo Burnham, I haven't even mentioned who the director is in this film, but Bo Burnham directed it, and he's usually a comedian, but man, he really knows how to make a film. Like, just a lot of these elements here, I probably should mention this near the end, but I'm gonna say it now, screw it. He's really good. Like, Bo Burnham really knows how to film something to bring that emotional impact without being too, like, what's the word? Without being, like, not putting too much overbearing music over the top to make it too, like, he doesn't try too hard to make it emotional. He kind of does techniques to make it work. He doesn't just add in this cheesy music that makes it emotional. No. He actually lets the acting speak for itself. He lets the camera work do it, which is, I think, a far more effective way than just putting in cheesy ass music, you know? Alright, so the next thing, uncomfortable feeling. So a lot of this movie made me feel a lot of things. It made me laugh, it made me smile, made me feel happy. It, you know, made me somewhat a bit emotional. And then it also freaking made me feel uncomfortable, especially that one scene I was telling you about where she kind of has a bit of a downfall. That scene. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Alright, but just not even that scene. It's just, yeah, throughout the film, there's just moments where you kind of feel how uncomfortable the main character is due to filmmaking, due to the acting, just a lot of the elements create this great uncomfortable feeling throughout the film, which I think is done really well. So number 16 is, it's thought-provoking. It makes you think, like the thing I was saying before about hanging around the right people. Don't hang around people that are just trying to be cool. Hang around people that you can actually be yourself around. And stop putting on a false persona so you have to hang around those people. Actually, be yourself and the right people will come along, you know. Like, that's a great thing to think about. But just other things throughout the film, it just gets you thinking, makes you think, damn, I wish I knew this when I was in school, in a sense, you know. But yeah, really, really thought-provoking film, I felt. So number 17, it's inspiring, like the thing I was saying before with the video stuff. Now, this might be more just personally for me, like just doing videos and stuff, but I find the film is inspiring in regards to what the film's messages are about being yourself, embracing who you are, which is easier said than done, but if you do try to do it, you'll feel a lot better. It's just very inspiring in that sense, and I guess for me as well, making videos and stuff, it was an inspiring film for me. Alright, so the next thing is our setting. So once again, this kind of ties into the whole story. The general setting, I like these coming of age type of films, but on top of that, everything else is what makes this movie 10 times better. But the setting was a great contributor to what this film is, so I did like the setting. So number 19, rewatchability. Since this movie is very short too, I could see myself watching this movie a bunch of times over. In fact, hang on. Oh, where is it? I watched this originally on Netflix like a week ago. Yeah, a week ago. And I was like, I have to buy this. Even though it's on Netflix, I have to get my own copy. And yeah, I did. So, yeah, this movie's great. There's my thumbnail right there. But yeah, this is a really good film. Totally got that. Alright, next thing. Oh, and last but not least, the ending. So, once again, that campfire scene happens. Not campfire, it's like a bonfire thing, whatever. It's a fire, okay? There's like fire in the scene. Anyway, so yeah, that kind of ties in a lot to the ending and how things wrap up, and that's a beautiful scene. That's a beautiful scene that creates a really great ending. And the last like little bit of what happens in the film is kind of like her saying one of the videos and how it's kind of edited together. It's really wonderfully done, and it really hits you really nicely right at the very end. So yeah, I absolutely love the ending in the film too. So yeah, that's everything I liked about this film, which is a lot. 20 things I liked about this film, which is insane, but hey, there you go. A lot of stuff I liked and a lot of stuff I really appreciated in this film. So there you go. What did you think of the film? If you've seen it, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, because I think it's a really wonderful film, and I'd love to hear maybe even more things to like and appreciate about it, or perhaps even some negatives. Maybe there's something you didn't like about the film, or maybe something you weren't sure about. So yeah, put your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation. And yeah, catch us next time.